What's going on out there in YouTube land? It's your guy Q, the movie collector here again, back with another video. Bet you guys thought I was gonna say 4K review, didn't you? I don't know if you guys realize this by now. I review all movies. Well, most movies that I like anyway. The ones that intrigue me anyway. And most of those do happen to become 4Ks. But the thing is that I also review Blu-rays as well. And so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a film that kind of caught my attention, I want to say midpoint last year. If you follow Vinegar Syndrome's Instagram page or any form of their social media, they've been talking about this film. They've been showing stuff about this film making the rounds across the country, going to different theaters and everything and hitting up the film festival circuit. Not big ones, just really small ones. But when I saw the trailer, I looked up the trailer. I was very much interested in it. And I want to say the director of this film, he posted a little bit of everything on this film. And I'm talking about none other than Austin Snell's They Call Her Death. So yeah, this film. What really sold me on wanting to really check this out was in the trailer that I saw leading to this release. It gave me really strong grindhouse vibes. I can't talk today. And I'm a huge fan of like grindhouse films. I love grindhouse style films, low budget. They always seem really fun to me. And when I saw it, I was kind of like, this is kind of got like a Western grindhouse, somewhat horror vibe to it. And so when Vinegar Syndrome had their alien invasion or whatever they call that sale, this movie finally made its way onto that. I would have thought with the way Vinegar Syndrome was promoting, I don't want to say promoting, I want to say just, they were posting a lot about this film. In the manner that they were doing that, I would have thought this was going to eventually become a VSP. I was kind of hoping that this would become a VSP, but that wasn't the case. And this ended up becoming like a really nice slipcover Blu-ray release. And so this film is directed by Austin Snell. I'm not familiar with his filmography. I do know he does a lot of low budget stuff, and he involves a lot of the same people in his circle when it comes to making his movies. But this movie, They Call Her Death. It starts off with it looks like there's like a robbery taking place at someone's home, and one of the guys. Two guys invade this house, and the man that's living in the house, he has a lot of gold, and they end up killing the guy and taking the gold. And then it cuts to a beautiful morning, and you've got this woman out, and she's doing stuff in the yard, and her husband's coming out there to help her out. And so then you see this guy come up on a horse. He happens to be a bounty hunter, and he ends up killing the woman's husband. He begins to tell the woman that there was a bounty placed for him, and he was collecting the bounty. So then as she sits there covered in blood, crying that her husband has just been killed in front of her, it then takes place the next day that she goes into town. She starts asking questions to the sheriff, like, why was my husband, why did he have a bounty? And then he explains to her that it's suspected that he was one of the guys that robbed this other guy, killed him, and took his money, which was basically at the very beginning of the film. And so then from that point, she goes to visit the funeral home, where the undertaker basically tells her that, hey, don't worry about it. We got a payment plan, yada, yada. We'll take care of everything. So in the midst of her watching her husband get buried, she starts having suspicions, and she starts seeing visions of her husband. It's almost like her husband's trying to tell her something just wasn't right. And she knew her husband very well to know that he turned his life around and he wasn't a part of that lifestyle anymore. And so then begins where she starts getting really suspicious about all the people in the town, like the sheriff and even some of the businesses in town. And she seeks out revenge, basically. It's a nice little revenge plot. Now, I will tell you guys this much. This film here, it's a very low budget film. So you gotta go in not really expecting a whole lot. And that's how I went in with it. And it's not the best shot film that you're ever gonna see, but it is low budget entertainment. I really, really enjoyed this. And I'm sorry if I cut straight into it. I just don't want to spoil the movie for you guys. But yeah, the director, Austin Snell, it was a passion project for him. He took a lot of inspirations from so many people that he watched as he grew up. Like there was even some references to the movie Pigs, which I've never seen, where he talks about, even in the special features, and I'll get into that later, he talks about how when he was younger, he would rent the movie Pigs, and then on the front it shows pigs eating stuff, eating human remains. But when he watched the film, that wasn't present. You get that in this film. I don't want to go into deep detail about how that happens. There's some pretty gnarly effects in this movie. While they're not the greatest, there's some gnarly practical effects in it. And there's a lot of really cheap CGI in it. But I would say the beautiful thing about this film overall, this film was shot on 16 millimeter film. And Austin Snell went as far as to get a camera that was made in the 60s to shoot this entire film. And he went about it in a way to where when he went to go turn the film in to get it processed or whatnot, and he got a call back from the place he took the film to, they said, hey, you got all these scratches and everything on there. Do you want us to clean it up? He told them, no, leave it in. So it really looks authentic to that. And I will go as far as to say that it looks like a low budget film that was shot back in like the late 60s. I will say that much. It looked just like it in a very beautiful way. So yeah, I mean, you get a pretty nice slip cover here. Here's a slip. And here's the back here. And this is actually put out by the Yellow Veil Pictures line. Apparently this is number 36. As you guys can see there, there's number 36. And I think I've already flipped this around. Yeah, it has a reversible cover art too as well. So that's the cover art. I chose to put this one on here, as you guys can see there. And there's the back, so you guys can check out the features there. I'm gonna put it a little closer so you guys can see a little bit better there. So yeah, that I mean, it came pretty loaded with special features. I mean, you get an audio commentary with writer director Austin Snell and producer visual effects artist Adam Jeffers. You get an audio commentary with the cast, making of They Call Her Death interview with practical effects artist Jake Jackson. That was probably the meat of the special features in here. I feel like it don't say how long it was. It felt like this was like an hour. It was an hour, maybe it was anywhere between 30 minutes and maybe 45 minutes. Filled with all kinds of things of behind the scenes, how they went about making the film. And the film, when you learn in this, it took him 2.5 years to finish this film. It, like I said, it was a passion project for him. And it shows when you watch the making of They Call Her Death. It shows on that it was a passion project. He goes and shows you that there was some scenes that he shot where it was on a farm of a friend, and he shot some stuff that was in the basement of his house where he had to actually build up the props and the sets. And it was a lot. He did a lot for this film. And let's see, there's a Q&A at Liberty Hall Theater, story to scene featurette The Ambush, storyboard to scene featurette Flashback. Austin Snell visits the Vinegar Syndrome archive. That was entertaining. Highly suggest you guys watch this. I want to say when this movie got announced as being part of that sale, Vinegar Syndrome dropped the trailer for this and dropped that video on their YouTube, and it's funny as usual. And you got behind the scenes of the dub Japanese premiere, and you also got a trailer. But yeah, the lady that plays as Molly Prey, which is the main character in this film, I want to say she came from she come from the theater arts background where she did, you know, the whole plays syndicate. And I want to say I think this was probably her first film, but I enjoyed her playing as Molly Prey. I believe she was Molly Prey. But yeah, let's talk about the transfer itself. So there's nothing on here that really says that they did anything crazy as like a 4K or anything of that nature. That wasn't done. This film looked very, very good. You could tell this film was shot on 16 millimeter film. I really enjoyed the way this was shot. A lot of people probably won't enjoy it. They'll probably say it was crap. I enjoyed it. I like stuff like this. Passion projects anyway. It has definitely some, and you'll see in the pictures, it definitely gives you that look, that definite look of that time period. But I will say this, man, to anyone that's curious of checking this out and you're in the grindhouse type of films, I highly suggest you check it out. If you're into, like, I don't want to say westerns, I will say like low budget spaghetti westerns. If you're into low budget spaghetti westerns, if you like revenge movies, and this even has a little bit of horror, not like scary horror, but they put a little bit of horror elements in it as well. If you're into all those types, I highly suggest you guys check out They Call Her Death. I had fun with this. I really, really had fun with this. But if you want my honest recommendation, if you're just looking for a pretty okay Vinegar Syndrome title to check out, and the next time it pops up on a sale, I highly recommend you guys get this. But yeah, that does it for the review of They Call Her Death. If you guys continue to like the videos and the reviews, I always enjoy when you guys like, comment, and subscribe. So please do that below, please. I will gladly appreciate that. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.